and welcome to Ink Chats about the five love languages. Whether you think that actions speak louder than words or that it's the thought that counts, everyone interprets love differently, and Dr. Gary Chapman knows this. Thanks to his work on the five love languages, feeling underappreciated is a thing of the past. Knowing what your primary love language is can help better communication between you and others, which can help avoid fights over simple miscommunications while also avoiding invalidating someone's love and efforts. I have attached a link in the description below to Dr. Gary Chapman's quiz on the five languages. It'll help calculate your primary love language while also showing you where you stand in the other languages. If you'd like, go ahead and pause this video to go take the quiz. Then come back and learn a bit more about your primary love language. With that said, let's chat. If you feel insecure because your loved one lacks telling you how they feel about you, your primary love language may be words of affirmation. This love language focuses on verbal communications and flourishes through compliments and praise. Words mean everything to those whose primary love language is words of affirmation, which means that your words can do more than just bring them up. They can also bring them down, so be careful with what you say. Insults and strong feedback will hit a little harder with this love language, and forgiveness may not come as easily. Parents should be mindful on how they criticize their children if this happens to be their love language. You may feel that you are helping your child by pointing out their flaws and offering advice on how to correct their mistakes. However, what your child is actually interpreting is that you don't care for them. Be sure to offer critique with more encouraging and positive phrases, such as, if you study more, I'm sure you can do even better. Remember that any praise or compliment should be genuine. Any forced or disingenuous comment will be received as a negative thing and it will eventually backfire, hurting those with this love language rather than building them up. Words of affirmation doesn't necessarily need to come from someone else, though. If you're having an off day or you're feeling kind of down, you can always love yourself. Compliment your outfit. Write down your accomplishments and things you like about yourself. Keep a memory box where you keep your favorite notes, cards, and quotes. Then, when you need to cheer yourself up, go through them. On the flip side, if the phrase actions speak louder than words resonates with you, your primary love language may be acts of service. Promises are particularly tricky with this love language. As opposed to words of affirmation, where they would love to hear you promise the moon and stars, people whose primary love language is acts of service may call your romantic gesture a bluff. It is especially crucial that you only make promises you can keep to these people, since this love language deals more with actions. However, using action phrases such as I can get that or what else can I do can help communicate that you are willing to do things and aren't necessarily promises. Doing things that show either your appreciation or your desire to help can make for a wonderful feeling. People whose love language is acts of service love it when you prepare their favorite meal or help ease their workload with cleaning. Be sure to never do these things out of obligation. If you have ever heard your parents complain that you never do anything, despite having a list of chores you have to do weekly, this is probably why. If those who have acts of service sense that you are only helping them because you have to, then your efforts are wasted. Offering help without being prompted to shows a more genuine approach and is a pleasant surprise for your loved one, lowering their stress and helping them relax. You can also treat yourself if this is your love language. Order some takeout to avoid having to prepare food, or invest in more automated appliances, such as a robotic vacuum, which doesn't require you to actively do a chore and will instead do it for you. Be sure to help your loved ones first if you're going to help others as well. Ignoring your loved one's request while helping others can bring back the sense that you're only helping them out of obligation, raising their anxiety and eventually hurting them. Massages can be an act of service, but they can also fall into the physical touch love language. As the name states, physical touch deals with a more nonverbal approach. Innocent touches as you pass by your loved ones, hugging and holding hands will always bring a smile to those whose primary love language is touch. Even sitting closer to them helps them feel loved. People whose primary love language is physical touch are looking for intimacy as a form of affection. They enjoy cuddles the most and are satisfied to just feel their loved ones near them. Unfortunately, this love language is the most frustrating as it can be very easily misunderstood. Most who don't have this as their primary love language lack understanding that physical touch is not a sexual love language. As a matter of fact, engaging in a purely sexual touch can lead to distance between people. Not to mention that family can also require physical touch to feel affection. If you forget to express your affection through touch, it will lead to a big hurdle, as no amount of words or gifts could ever reach out to them in the same way. As is the case with acts of service, be sure to give physical intimacy without being prompted or asked to. If you live on your own and have this as your primary love language, don't worry. Purchasing a weighted blanket can actually help. Maybe even buying a pet or visiting some local shelters to get a furry cuddle buddy. Some people have their bed full of plush friends. Another misunderstood love language is receiving gifts. These people are often misunderstood to be materialistic as they understand affection in the form of tangible items. However, unlike materialistic people, those whose primary love language is receiving gifts believe that it's the thought that counts. Gifts for these people don't have to be expensive or extravagant, they simply have to come from the heart. You could just as easily craft your own gifts, and they would be treasures to people with this love language. Never buy just any random item to appease them, though. Getting them a thoughtless gift can be more damaging than showing up empty handed. After all, the purpose of this love language is to receive your affection through a tangible object. You can satisfy this love language for yourself by buying yourself something you really want or crafting items that you enjoy to decorate your personal space. Sometimes all someone needs is to be able to look at, read, or hold something that means the world to them. Finally, there is the quality time love language. People with quality time as their primary love language can sometimes be called clingy, as they like to spend the most amount of time possible with their loved ones. This love language is all about intimacy and undivided attention. That means you should leave all external distractions, such as cell phones or television. Unlike with physical touch, being physically present isn't enough for this love language. You must be mentally present as well. Avoid replying messages or scanning your surroundings. Every interruption lessens the affection received and actually ruins your effort for your loved ones. You don't want your loved ones to feel as though they are less important than all of your distractions. Make sure you dedicate your time and attention to both planning the time together as well as when you actually spend that time together. Be sure that all activities are done together and that your loved one knows and feels that they are the center of your attention. Again, you don't always need someone to satisfy your own love language. If quality time is your primary love language, be sure to dedicate time for yourself. Reading a book you enjoy or having a relaxing bath are just a few examples of self care in this love language. Remember, regardless of what your loved one's love language is, the point is to show that you care. The idea that they should know how you feel without you having to go out of your way is a very toxic and hurtful mindset. After all, mind reading is still a skill that only works in comic books. Be sincere, be affectionate, and most importantly, be understanding. Communicate your love language with your partner and find out what theirs is. Knowing this can help further your relation and strengthen the intimacy between you two. So, what is your love language? Have you been taking care of yourself through your love language? Did you learn something new? Perhaps you've even got a great date night idea. Let me know in the comments below. And until next time, we'll chat again soon.